Welcome back to the What Are You Made Of podcast with your boy, Mike C-Roc. I got a special guest and a specialer guest. But my boy, Jason Yates, Loans by Yatesy Boy, as he's known on Instagram. Go follow him at Loans by Yatesy Boy. He's joining us as well today. And the special guest that we have, though, is the better-looking Gronkowski brother, the best-looking one out of the group. I think he's the most successful one out of the group. And I'm saying this because he's the only one I really know personally. So, Chris, welcome to the show, man.
I like that intro, man. So, I think we were talking about this a little bit before we started talking here. When you say it, you just have to make it happen then, right? So, most successful, I like that. Now I have a goal and I got to hit it.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate to have an opportunity to be on your show. I first of all, thank you for allowing me to be on the show and share with your audience. So I figured I might as well bring you on to mine. And
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, you were so we had you on probably a couple weeks last month. It was last month, but yeah, some good stuff we were dropping there on my podcast, Gronked Up Podcast. And thanks for letting me on yours.
Yeah. So guys, go subscribe after you subscribe to the What Are You Made Of podcast, and go check out the YouTube channel, Mike C-Roc Ciorrocco. Go to Gronked Up on iTunes, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Check Chris out. He's got a great show, great guests. And this is the fun thing about it is that when I was on his show, it was the most fun atmosphere, fun environment. We had, it was laid back and we got to shoot the shit. So I enjoyed that, man. But listen, this show's all about turning your setbacks into rocket fuel. And let me preface this by saying the reason I use rocket fuel is because that's the only thing I know, not being a rocket scientist, of what can get you into orbit. And orbit is away from gravitational pull. Gravitational pull is negativity. It's the economy. It's politics, all the negative crap that's out there that keeps pulling you down away from your goals. So in order to get to orbit, you need rocket fuel. We turn setbacks, difficulties, negative people into rocket fuel. And when I bring people on the show, that's what we want to hear about. When I say, what are you made of? I want to hear about what you went through growing up, anytime in the past, that you've converted into rocket fuel for your future. So Chris, what are you made of?
Man, I like that, man. You didn't describe it like that on my podcast. I didn't get the whole orbit. Yeah, man, you did. You got better. I like it. But no, I like that, the whole orbit thing. Once you get out of that pressure, you're free to live, your life and control what you want to control yourself. So that's a great definition, man. I need some more rocket fuel. Man, I'll go back to it a little bit growing up, man. So 5 boys. I was the middle of 5. Ended up being the shortest, the smallest, the fattest, the slowest, but whatever, man. So it was just battles growing up, right?
Where did you fit in age-wise?
So I was right in the middle of the 5. So we were all about 2 years apart. The youngest is actually Glenn, who's 4 years from Rob. So so Gordy, Dan, me, then Rob and Glenn. So I was in the middle of the 5 boys, and that was just that's called mayhem, man. Like, I don't know how my parents did it, because I have 3 boys now and they're still young, and I'm just sitting here like, wow, I can't imagine when they're like 10 and just fighting all day every day like we used to. But then add 2 more to it, and that's what our household was growing up. Man, so yeah, growing up was it was a struggle every day. We just made fun of each other, beat the hell out of each other every day, and it got you tough. It really did. And my parents raised us to earn everything that we had. So, we had the paper route when we were super young. I think I was 10. I started working for my dad when I could. I think the youngest I could be was 15. And I was delivering treadmills and fitness equipment in the inner city of Buffalo. And I had to step it up, man. I had to be the beast. So I'll carry the heavy end as well on the treadmills just to show up and show everyone what's up. But that was always about just hard work. Earning everything that you had. And, for me, that led to an opportunity to play college football and then go to the NFL as well.
So let me ask you, growing up, did you guys all know that you were going to go for it, playing pro football? Did you guys always think that in your brain from a small, I played football, by the way, since I was 10 years old, and I went all the way to Division III college. I always thought, since I could hold a football, that I was going to be something. I didn't know, I'm 5'6", 5'6 3/4". So, I didn't have Sproles' speed. So
yeah, Sproles. Hey man, this scar right here, if you can see it, is actually from Sproles. So
get out,
man. Yeah, the smallest guy in the field.
Sorry to bring up scars, brother.
No, it's all good. Clotheslined him. It was a great play by me. Clotheslined him on a kickoff coverage about at the 15-yard line, and I went to celebrate and. thought he just put his helmet in my shoulder, and I thought I had this bruise, but realized I completely tore my pec. But getting back to the question, going off a little off track here, but no, I never thought I had a chance. And I guess to even answer the question before that, some tough times and stuff that's helped me, with the rocket fuel, the question, but I'll hit on that a little bit too. But I thought I had no chance of going to the next level. You're told ever since you're little, get the best grades you can. It's great to have dreams, but it's a 1 in a million shot to make it to that level. So being the smallest, the shortest, slowest, whatever it was, I had 2 brothers that were absolute beasts. And, for them, it was still, this 1 in a million chance. So for them to make it, was a lot better than me. And so for me, it was almost like you have no chance. So I struggled to even get a scholarship offer out of college. I was actually going Division I AA scholarships was all I had. And I was actually going to the Ivy League. So committed to the University of Pennsylvania, got into the Wharton Business School. My dad was super pumped. He's like, hey, I got a kid going Ivy League. I can tell everyone my kids are smart too. And the last second I got this offer to the University of Maryland, and it really became because of grades. So they had a bunch of guys that were failing out. They were about to go on academic probation. And some of the guys coming in also couldn't pass the SATs and get a high enough score. So they had to go to prep school. So it opened up this opportunity for me to get this scholarship, and they offered me it with like a week left in the summer. And I was like, man, hell yeah, I am taking it because I wanted to compete at the highest level. But at the same time, going to Ivy League at that time, which they've since changed this rule, but at that time you couldn't get a scholarship. You got nothing. So I would have came out of school with like $200K in debt. It would have been a really good degree, but it would have just been putting you so far behind, coming out. So my dad, going back to how our parents raised us, they were not going to pay for college. He wanted to tell everyone I was going to go to Ivy League, but he wouldn't have paid for it. So it would have been all on me. It would have came out of my pocket. I would have left with a ton of debt. And that's just something that I wasn't really that comfortable with. So jumped on that scholarship offer and, went to Maryland.
And so how did I not know you went to Maryland? We live in Maryland, by the way.
Oh, you do? Nice. Yeah, man. Terps for life, right? I ended up not being a Terp for life though. My brother Dan was there. I went there. It almost felt like I never belonged there, right? They never really recruited me, kind of gave me this last minute offer. I came in, I got the grades. I ended up being the pound for pound strongest guy in the running back room as a freshman, and just never saw eye to eye with the coach. He's one of the coaches that you walk by the hall and you say hi to him, he would turn his head and look the other way. And you're like, man, does he really want me here? And that's kind of the feeling. But came down to a point, a tough decision for me, one of my first tough decisions. And my younger brother Rob was actually there, and he was in the room with the coach. He was recruiting him, and my dad was there, and he pretty much told him that, my brother Dan was doing amazing, but, your brother Chris sucks. He's like, he's not going to play for me. And it really all came down to me missing one practice that I got hurt in. And I was the goal line fullback at the time. We couldn't run goal line. He got pissed. He took me off of everything after that. And it was a legitimate injury. I hurt myself. I literally couldn't even walk, and I was still trying to practice. And, at that point I wasn't tough anymore. And, I couldn't play for him. So I brought that up to my brother. And at that point it was like, hey, if he's going to tell my own family that, I need to make a tough choice here. I need to, either tough this out or I got to go find somewhere else to play. So I ended up transferring to the University of Arizona at that point.
And so what went through your head as you're going through these things like that, when you feel like your brothers are beasts? Did you always feel like you're trying to keep up with them and really pressing? Because see, what goes through my head to me is that I would want to be where they are. And so I would work extra hard, probably even work harder than them, and try to outwork them. Is that how you were, or how did that transpire?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing with my brothers because we always push ourselves to that next level, man. If you want to impress anyone, it's going to be your family, right? That's you go as hard as you possibly can. You want to beat them and everything. That's how we were raised. So playing with my brother Dan first, that's why I was the strongest guy in the weight room, because I wanted to be stronger than him, and he was strong. So I wanted to go in there. I wanted to beat him in every lift, and I wanted to show him up. So that pushed me, and then ended up going to Arizona. It was the same way. I got there with Rob, and like you said, man, same family, same upbringing. Why should he be better than me at anything? So we competed super hard and everything, and it took us to the next level. We were so good because we pushed each other to that level. And I always wish that I could have played with him again at the next level, because, you walk into that film room and your brother's going to watch your plays with you. you're going to make sure that you show up, because that's the worst feeling in the world, is when, your own family's like, man, what are you doing on that play? What happened there? You have to show up each and every day just for that reason, for your own pride reason in your own household. So that always pushed me to the next level, man. And that was that feeling, if he could do it, so could I.
And Yates, by the way, if you have any questions popping in, just pop in.
Yeah, actually, you just asked the question I was going to ask. That you're growing up and having, coming from an athletic, family, and there's 5 of you. Who had the best work ethic, and was there something you learned, from the older brothers, like kind of pushing you, and then obviously, as Rob's a freak and he's younger than you, him being younger, but really, really good. Did that kind of push you to stay, like try to stay better than he was when you guys were younger and playing, peewee and, high school ball and stuff like that?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I was actually bigger than him until high school. And then that's when it started to change. So, he ended up coming up and as a sophomore played varsity. So I only really played with him for 1 year. And then I was gone. So at that point, you're so young, so you're developing still. So for me to be 2 years older than him was a huge advantage still, especially football wise, because football, we didn't actually play till high school. So for him to catch up and really be that dominant right away as a sophomore, he was getting there, but it wasn't insane yet to that point yet. So I was able to get out of there before he kind of took over the team for the most part. So no, but it always pushed you to the next level, man, because you knew if they were catching up to you, you're like, no, I can't let the little bro catch up, and you always had to go harder. So I left high school with some of the weightlifting records I think are still there, just because I knew Rob was good. I'm like, I got to have something at least, right, to separate myself. And I worked hard in the gym, knowing that I had to do something to get myself to that next level.
What did you guys do before football?
So we grew up playing a lot of hockey. We're from Buffalo, New York, so a lot of hockey, and then a lot of baseball as well. Really played every sport, but those were the main 2 that we started with. And hockey really led into the hitting, the checking, the fighting, and it kind of just led itself to football. Once you made it to high school in Buffalo, it was kind of like, hey, if you want to pursue hockey, you're going to pursue it full time, and that's the only sport you're going to play. If you want to play multiple sports, you're probably going to end up playing football. So we made that choice in high school to go the football route instead.
And Chris, what's a pivotal moment that you can think back on where you like really, really go back to still to this day, even with your business, that drives you when things get tough, you deal with a setback? Can you think of something that you use, or do you do that? Because I know I do. I mean,
man, for me, it's still that same drive, man, from family, living up to the name, living up to the hype. I all the time, like if I show up at a family event and I'm looking sloppy, I am going to hear all about it, and vice versa, man. We do it to each other all day, every day. It's like, hey, what happened to you, man? It used to be swole. What have you been doing lately? So, it's still that pride. And I think it's just that hard work ethic that was always put into us, So from day one, we were taught, you're going to earn it. You're going to work hard, get in the basement, hit the weights, and it just doesn't leave you. That's what got you there, and that's what continues to drive me every day.
And what was your favorite moment playing in the NFL? Is there one particular signature moment that it could be a great play, but it also could be someone that you met that you always looked up to? Give me some stories, man.
Yeah, man. No, there's a lot of good moments. My favorite game was playing against Rob. So 2012, I was with the Broncos. We were in New England playing against the Pats. So it was one of those weeks where, man, I was just so excited to play against them. And my coach was like, that was the worst week of practice you ever had. And I'm like, yeah, but I'll show up on game day. So went out there. They had these plays in for me. They were trying to get me a touchdown against them, which would have been epic. But Belichick saw it coming. So they ended up covering me on the play that we never ran this play. We ran it just to basically score a touchdown against the Pats and kind of like rub it in that I scored and Rob didn't, but it didn't happen. But the best part about it was I was so excited. But every time I ran by the sideline, I would just hear Rob talking trash. Like, hey, 49 sucks. Nice play, 49. Like without, when nothing would really be happening. And then just going against them. So I ended up having one of my best games. Got special teams player of the week that week as well. And it was just one of those moments where, playing against your bro, It was just epic, man, that you'll never forget.
Who was the quarterback of Broncos at that time?
It was Peyton Manning.
Oh, Peyton. Okay.
Yeah, so it's Peyton versus Brady, man. That was a pretty epic game.
And now, who was the favorite person that you played with in the pros on the same team?
Favorite teammate?
Yeah.
So I would probably, man, I've had some good ones. So
just give me a couple then. Don't hurt anybody's feelings.
No, coming into Dallas, man, I thought Marcus Ware was a cool dude, man. He was at his prime at that point, and it was like, he just came off the sack leader, and you would think that he would be like, too high for everyone, but he was a guy that, in Dallas, a lot of guys didn't talk to the rookies, and he did. So I used to work out with
Time out. I told you last time not to ever bring Dallas Cowboys up on my podcast.
Oh, man.
I'm just messing with you.
Hey,
no, but
when I got released, man, Philly tried to pick me up, man. So I ended up going to the Colts instead because you get rewarded to the team that has the worst record from the year before. So they both had really good records. I think they both had 13 wins that year. They ended up going to the Colts instead, but I almost ended up going to Philly, man.
Oh, man.
I would have been there if it wasn't for the Colts picking me up.
Oh, that's all right, though. Well,
but, DeMarcus Ware, really cool guy. I played with guys like Pat McAfee. I don't know if you've seen some of his Pat stuff lately, but he was like that when he was playing too, man. A lot of fun to play with. Man, let's see who else. Peyton's funny, man. Peyton was a good time as well. And
Peyton's commercials are great.
That's really how he is, though. I mean, he gets his point across. It's funny, but at the same time, he gets his point across. He's a great leader, and it was fun to play with him. But he does demand a lot out of his players as well.
Yeah. So Yates, you got something before I go to my next question?
Nah, I was just Peyton Manning and all those commercials, just that personality, seeing him and hearing that he's really like that. But, hey, that's what you want, right? Somebody that you can goof off with, but also hold you accountable, you know what I mean, on the field and in life and everything else. That's pretty awesome.
So Chris, what's going on with business, man? Share with us about the Shark Tank experience and then what you guys have going on.
Yeah, man. So we just moved into a new warehouse. So it's our third warehouse. We're going into year 4 right now. So it's been good, man. It's been really good growth. Shark Tank, took it from a side hustle. This was something I was doing out of my house. I was actually upstairs in my house packing and shipping boxes. And 6 months in, we were able to get on Shark Tank, had 80,000 in sales at that point, shot up to over 3 billion in the next 12 months. So taking that momentum and just kept building, man, kept working hard, kept putting the money back into it. We have over 90, usually about 90 to 100 different active SKUs at any time at this point. And man, things have been good. We're in Vitamin Shop now, GNC, Lifetime Fitness, and really just do a really good job of B2C, man. We like to focus on our site. We like to build our audience. We like to really support our customers, and it's been good. So just got into the new warehouse. We're in about 16,000 square feet now. So we went from 3 to 6 to 16, and it's been good, man. It's been all about really building the culture and the team up to this point.
Yeah. So first of all, for the audience, Ice Shaker, explain to the audience what it is if they haven't heard.
For sure. So here's one right here. Yeah. So I carry it everywhere. Really, the idea was to make one bottle that I could use all day, every day. No matter where I went. I was at the gym in Texas. It was super hot. I grabbed the plastic shaker. I brought it there. It was sweating everywhere. It was warm. It smelled terrible when I took a sip of it. And I was like, man, I just want one bottle I could bring to work, but also bring to the gym. It can mix up powders, bring it on the airplane, toss it in the pool with me, whatever. So that was the idea, really a bottle for anyone living an active lifestyle. So went on this mission to find it. They didn't have one anywhere that I could really just, mix powders in and keep my drink hot or cold. So created one myself, man. And as easy as I make it sound, it was extremely difficult. Even with a following and, a family name and stuff like that, it didn't matter. No one trusted it. No one's ever heard of it before. The first week I might've sold a couple bottles, even with a decent social media following at that time. So just starting to grind, man. But the product, what it is it's an insulated kitchen grade stainless steel bottle. It will keep your drink cold or hot for a long time. And it also has the ability to mix up powders. So proteins or pre-workout or even just something like a lemonade or fruit infuser drink.
Love it, man. And so first of all, were your brothers involved with it before Shark Tank?
So no, they weren't. My brothers were not involved. My brother Rob recently, so we had offers from Mark Cuban, Alex, actually all 5 Sharks, but Mark and Alex bought in, and Rob recently, when he retired, bought out Alex. So it's Rob and I, and then Mark Cuban that are still in the company.
Gotcha. And so here's the thing, like I write my goals down every day, man. It's just something I do to keep myself clear on what I'm trying to do. And one thing I always write down is bring my homies with me. So me, Jason, and then there's 2 other best friends that we grew up with that work together in our mortgage company, along with my little brother, Casey. And we get to wake up every day and work together. We're like brothers because we've known each other since we were probably 10, maybe even before that. And anything that we do, it's just the mortgage thing is one thing that we do. I got the podcast going on, the coaching company, we're doing digital training now. And then we're going to start a clothing line. Right. And so I always write down, bring my homies with me because, we have so much going on that it's good to be able to delegate something to this person or that person so we can focus on the task at hand. But I love how you brought your brothers into it as well. And it's a good thing to see when you can, continue to work together on a project and reach for goals. So,
yeah, man, we got a cool relationship with all the brothers. So even though my other brothers aren't in it, my whole family is in the health and fitness space. So my dad's been selling fitness equipment for over 35 years now. He's the 2nd largest distributor in the U.S. So my older brother, Danny, and my older brother, Gordy, work for him. So it all kind of collides together. Youngest brother works for Stadium Blitz, or it's a company called Complex that owns our new Stadium Blitz event that does obstacle course races through NFL and college stadiums. So everything we do relates, and we just bounce ideas and we bounce contacts off each other. So even though we're not directly working with each other, we are pretty much on phone calls every single day with each other, talking about business and different ideas and different ways we could help each other.
And now being involved with Mark Cuban, what are some things that you've learned, the Shark Tank experience and then Mark Cuban, any business things that you've learned or?
Yeah, man, Mark's been a beast. Shark Tank isn't this thing where, you get an offer and they come in, take over your company, you chill. It's actually a thing where your company explodes and so does the work. That work that it explodes overnight with the sales, you 100x maybe overnight, you 100x your workload as well. So Mark was a really good resource. He has a whole team that was built out. I think he has over 10 people in Mark Cuban companies, which, then helps manage I think he has over 60 or 70 different Shark Tank companies now in his portfolio. So great resource for that. If I need help, if I'm struggling with something, I reach out to them. And, they're going to connect me with, maybe it's a CEO of one of these other companies that is really good at what I'm struggling with. So I know I just recently reached out and said, hey, SMS is big. I'm hearing pretty good things about SMS. Who's crushing it right now in the portfolio? And it's a simple phone call, to Mark Cuban's guy. He connects me with their best company that's crushing with SMS. And I'm on a phone call, with their CEO that week.
So it's a network of people now. You got companies. It's like a entrepreneurial network that you guys can feed off each other and help share ideas.
Absolutely, man. And it's all going to be, unbiased opinions about different services or companies. And it's all, it's free, it's the best resource that you could possibly have. So that's been huge. They came in also and helped with, stuff like lawyers and the contracts, stuff like that, negotiating contracts with the bigger companies because, man, I had no idea, especially GNC. They went out and got GNC almost immediately. And I've never seen a retail contract before. And they throw everything at you, man. It looks like a good deal until you read the 20 other discounts that they have hidden in there. So right off the bat, that was huge just to get them on the phone and negotiate contracts for me because I would have got just toasted, man, without them there. So that's been huge for me. I think the biggest thing still is proof of concept. You have those guys come in to the company, especially early on, 6 months into it. It's telling everyone else, in the world that this is something they believe in, and to have their stamp of approval on it is huge, man. So I think that still to this day is still that biggest takeaway from Shark Tank is just the proof of concept from the Shark Tanks and them backing it.
And one last question for me, and I'll let Yates have a finishing question. But when you had that boost right off after being on the show, how did you handle that influx of business? Because I know you may not have been prepared for that because in the mortgage industry, just give you an example, COVID happened, rates dropped, interest rates dropped, man. Refinance business just started flowing in and we couldn't hire fast enough. And so turn times are longer across the industry and, it's called scaled chaos. So how did you handle that or did they help with that as well?
Man, so they didn't help with that. I was really lucky because at that time I had one bottle, one color. If it was now, it would have been a disaster, man. Because we have 90 different SKUs now, so packing takes a lot longer. What we did was we just prepackaged bottles for the most part. So we already had the bottle in the box ready to go. Here's the ones, here's twos, here's threes, here's fours. All we had to do was slap labels on at that point, and you could easily bulk print them too, because they're all the same size boxes and bottles. So I was prepared on that front. My wife had a business that was 5-6 years in at that time, and she had employees as well. So we were able to round up her employees and then family and friends as well to really help with the load right at the beginning. But after that initial, I had to go and find some help as soon as I could.
Gotcha. Well, any questions?
I was just going to tell him. Well, I don't know if you, Chris. I'm a huge Saints fan. Been a Saints fan since I was like 10. The Ravens were non-existent when we were growing up, so there was no Baltimore or Maryland team. So I've been a Saints fan since I was a kid. So seeing your brother sign with Tampa Bay was literally like crushed me, because I've always been a Gronk fan as well. So seeing that crew come over to Tampa Bay was it was a little painful, but we healed a couple wounds over the weekend by beating them. So
I know, man.
I'm excited though, where you for him just being in the Sunshine States and coming out of retirement and stuff like that.
Man, I'm pumped for this year, and I know they came out slow, and they're playing a great team on the road, and you just could tell the chemistry wasn't there yet. So for them to have 3 turnovers and still have a chance to compete with the Saints is pretty good, and they'll figure it out, man. I know everyone overreacts to the first week, and I love it because they talk so much trash, and the Patriots would do the same thing, man. They lose the first couple games, and those were the years they won the Super Bowl. When they came out hot and they never got tested, and everyone kind of thought they were the best players. That's when they ended up losing in playoffs. So everyone needs a test. It's kind of like everything that you guys are going back to. You need to get taken down at some point so that you can build back up and really focus on how to get better. And I think that's what will happen with them. But I'm pumped,
they're only going to get better. Yeah, they're only going to get better, right? As they
you'll see that chemistry come together, and Chris, now they know they got to fight, man. They got to fight now.
Absolutely. And plus with Teddy going to Carolina now. So and I don't know if you probably don't know this, but Chris Godwin is actually from one of our local high schools here,
okay, nice.
Close to us. So I actually went down to Tampa Bay last year for the Saints Tampa game, and obviously rooting for the Saints, but I was happy that Godwin had a huge game. So he's a good kid too, man. Coming out of a local school, went to Penn State for college, but yeah, that's a nice little team they got.
Hey, they'll be good, man. They need that rocket fuel. They got that rocket fuel coming.
Chris, you got to do me a favor. You got to tell Rob and him to tell Tom too that we got to turn all setbacks and negativity, that stuff that's going on with, they're saying Bruce Arians talking jet, whatever. All that stuff has got to be fuel for them. I know they already do that, but just kind of frame that the way I tell it for me, and let them know that they got to turn it into rocket fuel to get it to orbit, because they got to win the Super Bowl there.
Because you're gonna see it. You'll see it this week, and that's why I'm excited about it. And man, it's funny because everyone just goes right online, right, and just starts talking so much trash. And every time they do that, man, all it is it's giving them fuel, man. That's all it is.
Love it.
And they'll come together, and it's exactly what you're preaching, man. So I think that was the perfect time to bring that up. And if everyone knew what you were saying, they'd be worried about this week.
Yep. If they win the Super Bowl, it's going to be because you told them that for me. So
yeah, man. You're gonna have books coming out about it soon, man.
Yeah, actually, I do have a book called Rocket Fuel coming out at the end of this year. And if we can get, they're not going to win the Super Bowl by then. But I might do a revised edition of it and add that in there. So
got to get it. Got to get in the locker room, man. I actually.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, Chris, listen, man. I know you're a busy guy, man. I appreciate you coming on the What Are You Made Of show. Thank you so much. If there's anything I could ever do for you, man, just reach out. I'd love to come down and visit you. Maybe hit the gym or play some golf or something. So.
Good stuff, man. I appreciate you having me on. Jason, great meeting you as well.
You too, Chris. Take care, buddy.
You guys have been listening to the What Are You Made Of podcast with your boy Mike C-Roc and our special guest Chris Gronkowski and our under special guest Loans by Yatesy Boy. Go follow Chris Gronkowski on Instagram. Is it Chris Gronkowski?
Chris Gronkowski, man. I make it easy over here.
Very simple. And at Loans by Yatesy Boy. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys following me and the movement. And until next time, be great.